Hi guys, in this video we are going to use two properties of addition: the commutative property of addition and the associative property of addition to develop an addition strategy that will help us add numbers more easily. The associative property of addition is simply a grouping property of addition. In this question, we are going to use the grouping property of addition to help us add these numbers easily. So that means we're going to look for a group that can add to 100. And that group is the group on the right. So we'll first add a 31 to a 69 to get 100. And now it is much easier to add the 19 to 100 to get 119. So this is the final answer. The commutative property of addition is simply a ordering property of addition. So in this question, we are going to use the ordering property of addition to help us add these numbers easily. So that means we have to change the order of these numbers. So first, we'll flip the 28 and the 55. Now we're gonna try and find a group that can add to 100. So that group is the group on the left. So 45 plus 55 is 100. So now it is easier to add the 28 to 100 to get 128. So this is the final answer. In this problem, we're gonna flip the -9 and the 72. So now we've used the commutative property of addition because we have changed the ordering of the numbers. So now we're going to try and find a group that can add to 100. and that group is the group on the left. So we're gonna add a 28 to a 72 to get 100. Now we're gonna try and find a group that can add to a negative 20, and that group is the group on the right. So that means we're gonna add a negative 9 to a negative 11 to get a negative 20. So now we've used the associative property of addition because we've used friendly groups to make friendly numbers. So now all we have to do is to add the negative 20 to 100 to get a 8. So this is the final answer. So now our addition strategy is solid from the commutative property and the associative property. In this question, we're gonna use the commutative property to flip the 9 and the 6. Now we are going to use the associative property to identify groups that can add to a 10. So the first group is this one, and the second group is this one. So that means we're going to add the 4 and the 6 to get a 10. Then we're going to add the 9 and the 1 to get a 10. And now we're going to use the associative property again to identify a pair that can add to a 20. And that pair is this one. So that means we're going to add a 5 to a 15 to get a 20. Now our addition is easy. So all we have to do is to add the 10 and the 10, the 20 and the 7. So the answer will be 47. So this is the final answer. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next video.